Hello, hello. Testing. Is this thing on? Yeah, I think this thing's on. What's up, CPL folk? It's your boy Forte here. I'm bringing some content. It's going to be, we're going to look at some Tier 3 matches today. It's going to be between gloriously overpowered sexy unicorns, aka GOSU, and Lettuce Attack. And I hope you guys are just as psyched as I am. I'm so happy to be back in the casting seat. I got my work schedule changed, actually. I got a few more days off, so Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you can look forward to some casting content from me on a pretty consistent basis, so I'm pretty excited about that. As far as the games go, we just got the replays. Hopefully they all work. Got confirmation from Dada, who was kind enough to get these in order for me. Let's take a quick look-see here. So, for today's matchup, we're going to be looking at some games between nerfingen and SHimmer, Flipendo and SHimmer. Is that how you say that? I think that's how you say that. Now someone correct me if I'm wrong. Games between SirenM and Herold, games between Void and Dada, and Vaclavson and Zoey. Cool. Well, I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. I want to jump right in. We're going to go first with nerfingen and SHimmer. I'm going to boot game 1. Let's go. Oh yeah, and I totally managed to get the overlays fixed out. Again, big huge thanks to Dada for helping me fix the resolution and some settings in the stream to smooth things out. So everything's in the proper place now, and it doesn't look as ugly as the last time I streamed, so thank you much. I appreciate it. Anyway, jumping into the game here. Starting on Neosylphid, we have is the magenta Protoss in the lower left corner. It's going to be SHimmer. And in the lower right corner is the yellow Protoss. It's going to be nerfingen. And again, I think I'm saying that right. I have such a hard time with names, especially when people put like numbers and capitalizations, and I don't know where the enunciations should be, and maybe I'm just noobish with names. First time I'm checking out CPL. Are these cast live or from replays? Well, so if you don't know what CPL is, it's the Coach-Pupil League. You can find it on Team Liquid, and you can find it on our Discord. Someone can probably hook you up with the Discord link if you want to join. It's a great league where you learn how to play StarCraft, and you get assigned to teams that have coaches and other players that help you learn how to play competitively. These are from replays. However, I am casting this live from replays. So all of this is being done live. I haven't seen these matches before, so I don't know what to expect, but it's all from replays from last week, as the players played their very first week of the regular season. Okay, so jumping into the game here, do a little bit of analysis. Nerfingen open up with gate gas. And meanwhile, on SHimmer's side, we have a 2-gate opening. Interesting. So, what this means is we should expect a little bit of higher aggression from SHimmer. And then a more tech-focused route from nerfingen. Wait to see if core goes down. So it is a pylon before core. I think that's, I'm not a Protoss player, but I think that's Zealot Core Zealot, yeah. Scout gonna come down here and finally scout the correct location. Nerfingen gets the first scout off, sees the 2-gate and a Zealot popping out. First Zealot popping out for nerfingen, a second one on the way. And we're just kind of playing comfortably right now. No early shenanigans, no pressure, no moving across the map. We're just going to mine some gas for nerfingen, with 2 probes though. Here's our core. Oh, I'm going to pick off this probe, very nice pick. Here we have a 3 Zealot move out spotted by this probe. Nerfingen, very quick reaction with this probe, very fast. Well done. Could you set the game audio music a bit higher? It's a bit low. Sure. Surely. Put this, and I'll put the music on for you guys too. I always forget to do that, so my apologies. Okay, Cybernetics Core about halfway done for SHimmer. Cybernetics Core about to pop for nerfingen. Still one gateway versus two.
I tell you what, I think I'll join up.
Thanks for the follow, Vaclavson. Totally appreciate it. So now we have these three zealots that are going to come and apply some early pressure. Now, we do have a Dragoon on the way for nerfingen, so I think with two zealots and a Dragoon, it's going to come down to some micromanagement here. We'll have to see how this initial zealot fight plays out, and already a great surround on SHimmer's part on both zealots and picks both of them off. So now it's three zealots versus one Dragoon. This puts nerfingen into a little bit of a pinch, and I love this idea to split one of the zealots off, attack some of the probes, and the other two focus on the Dragoon. Look at this, we already have two probes killed. So this is a pretty solid move. That's a third one, and the Dragoon goes down. This is an excellent attack right here from SHimmer. More zealots being rallied in. One zealot and one Dragoon being rallied in. And just keeping one zealot at the choke here too. That's a pretty clever idea. Okay, he does send that out. And we're just kind of relying and putting our back on the two gate pressure here. Second gateway is up for nerfingen, so the reinforcements out here should be able to help hold. And it looks like he did manage to take those other two zealots out. So here we go, with the second goon popping out. If nerfingen can just micro, should be able to hold this when this goon pops out. And yeah, look at this. Nice stutter stepping with the goon, pot shotting on the zealot. Oop, do want to target this zealot down, finish it. Even pull some of the probes to help fight. Not a bad idea. Okay, and more probes going down. SHimmer getting some excellent economic damage done in this probe line. See if there's any additional tech out here. Not quite yet. Really focused on this fight right here, and I do have to agree with that. You're in your opponent's base. The majority of your units are here. Focus on getting your damage done. So this is good. I'd like to see this Dragoon microed a little bit. Unfortunately, not the case. Does go down, and it's just too much pressure. So game one goes to SHimmer. Very nicely done. So we'll give a point to SHimmer, and then we'll proceed with game number two. So already kind of fast-paced, pretty exciting. And game number two, let's go! So this time we are on, what was it, Good Night? I think it's Good Night. And the late GG for game one. So, spawning in the top left corner, it's going to be, again, as the yellow Protoss, nerfingen. And in the top right corner, again, as the magenta Protoss, it's going to be SHimmer. I'm going to do a do not disturb here. And we'll wait to see how these two players open up. Now, there's not really a whole lot that I can comment on ahead of time because I'm not a Protoss player. And this is an all Protoss matchup, so yay me. But I think typical openings are either gate core or 2-gate. And this seems to be a pretty early scout for nerfingen. It's a little too early for scouting, actually. Not only that, it's heading towards the middle Yeah, that ain't no scout. That's right. So, looks like we're probably going to see some center gates, or at least a center gate, out of nerfingen. Gateway in the main going down for SHimmer. Oh, a second pylon as well in the main for nerfingen. Here's the scout for SHimmer going out. Probably going to miss that middle. Yeah, just going on normal scout path. Single gateway in the center for nerfingen. We'll see if he places down a second. Looks like he's positioned to do so right here. Yeah, so it's going to be double gateway. Double proxy gateway in the middle. This is what we wanted to see. Okay, and another 2-gate opening for SHimmer. So, this is probably the best case scenario for SHimmer, especially since he's probably not expecting this, but will know once the first zealot appears rather quickly. And nerfingen does get the scout off on the location, so he knows where to send the zealots. First zealot, about 70% done. Most likely going to be rallied up to the top right. Yeah, and we have double zealot coming out of these gateways, and by the time nerfingen's zealots arrive, SHimmer should have enough to hold here, especially with one zealot already out. So here's that first zealot on its way. Pauses to take a break, probably a little out of shape. 2 probes continuing to scout, and unfortunately SHimmer gets the last scout off, which is really unfortunate because he's going to get into the main and see, well, there's 1 gateway and nothing else, so 3 gateways in total for nerfingen. But still, the position's not very bad for SHimmer, especially since, he's deduced where the location is and just sent his first 3 zealots out. I don't know about this because the center gate zealots, 3 of them here, are going to come in, and this might turn into something kind of base tradey. And unfortunately, SHimmer's last zealot here at home does get surrounded and picked off. And 2 more are producing, but they're not close to being done yet. Cybercore going down. No gas being mined. Very good. Now that you see that there's aggression coming out, you have no purpose mining gas, really. And I'm going to target down this pylon, which will unpower the gateways. This pylon right here will not reach both of these, so pulling the probes, it's a good idea, you have to. Unfortunately, I just don't think there's going to be anything that SHimmer can do here, so yeah, unpowered gateways. And on the other side, SHimmer's doing a fantastic job of picking off the probes, so the economy of nerfingen is now non-existent as soon as this probe dies. And there it goes. So if SHimmer can manage to hold here, losing probes is alright, because your opponent has no probes. If you can hold this, you can win. But that's 4 zealots. 5th one right here, fighting one of SHimmer's zealots. Dancing around with the probes. Unfortunately, these gates are unpowered. He's got the money for a pylon, but we'll see what happens. And more zealots just continue to stream in. I think this might be... Wow, gosh, I can't figure out where this game's gonna go, but... Tearing down the main nexus, this is definitely a macroeconomic death blow right here. There's no coming back from this. Nerfingen has only 1 probe left on the map, no resources left to build anything. And SHimmer has figured out the disgusting opening. Oh, so cheesy. Figured out what's going on, but unfortunately, both players are at complete standstills and are gridlocked with further build movement. Now it's just down to the units. So this should be an actual literal base race. Who can kill all the buildings before the other person? And nerfingen's positioning his zealots kind of between SHimmer's base and the remaining buildings that he has. So I like this. but with all the probes being pulled here, and I think this was very smart to have pulled all these probes and not lose them, because your gate's unpowered. More minerals are not going to help you, really, since you didn't put down an additional pylon. And getting a full surround on these zealots, wow, that's a game closer right there. This game should now be completely in SHimmer's favor, and nerfingen taps out. Well done, a 2-0 from SHimmer. Very, very well done, and a quite a quick series too, I must say. So, that leaves us with Lettuce Attack being up one series. That was intense. So now we're going to have a look up at who is next on the chopping block. And it looks like our next series will be between Flipendo and SHimmer. God, I hope I'm saying that right. Booting up game number 1. Here we go, folks. So here we go, starting once again on our first map, Neo Sylphid. As the magenta Terran spawning in the lower left, it's going to be SHimmer. And in the lower right corner, as the orange Zerg, it's going to be Flipendo. Okay, so now we have a different matchup. Now it's Terran versus Zerg. Now I can actually speak a little bit. A little bit of early banter here. Early back and forth from. Yes, SHimmer, where are you from? Hello. Wow. Look at that. You guys, look at that. Look at that pool timing. Look at that pool timing. Flipendo's not messing around here. That's a 4 pool, I think. I missed it. I'm sorry. I think that's a 4 pool. Either a 4 or 5 pool. Either way, Flipendo wants to end this game early. And he does end up sending his Overlord in the correct direction. And we'll see how SHimmer can fare off against this. And that pool's nearly complete. We're going to see 3 pairs of Zerglings coming out. Barracks going down. Now, this should be the scout. And if SHimmer is lucky, he'll scout bottom instead of top first, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. That's really going to be unfortunate. He's going to get the last scout off. But so the Zerglings are out, okay? And there's one more pair on the way that'll make 8 Zerglings. This is the only scouting information that Flipendo actually has. So he has to actually just take a guess from this point, and it looks like he's going to guess top, which is incorrect. So a brief respite for SHimmer. Going to scout here and see that Zerg's not at the top, and if his eyes are sharp, he should notice Zergling's coming up. Look at that, and he'll get the notification as well. So yeah, cover's blown. Now SHimmer should know what's going on. Should probably throw down a bunker. Zergling's going to chase this other scouting SCV. And this is why you send a second scout, to intercept the Zerglings. Get some count. Okay, this is what he's spending his larva on. There's a lot of Zerglings coming. Okay, decides to pull the SCVs to hopefully plug up this choke here. Does not do so well with the first 2 Zerglings, letting both of those in. 2 more come in. This Marine is walking way too far out. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Gonna get picked off. We do have a bunker in the main, though. And this is the key point of this game right here. This will save SHimmer. So now it's really You know, can Flipendo get any additional damage done? Some SCV kills, and it looks like he's trying to do just that. He does get a couple of picks. SHimmer smartly pulling the SCVs up towards the bunker, sends them back to mine, and just 2 Zerglings left. That's pretty easy to deal with, especially since they're both injured. And it looks like this Marine's going to have no problem picking them off. A few more come in from the rally, but at this point it's really just too late. I mean, the second barracks is on its way up as soon as he puts an SCV back on it. Gas. Yeah, this is really all in. There's not much left, but it looks like he's going to try to transition into a normal game now that he's droning up. And just holding the remaining Zerglings at the natural. So here, SHimmer in an excellent position and poised to win this game. But anything can happen. Brood War is a game of comebacks and a game of mistakes. So let's not just assume that Terran has won this yet. Oh, HM3 equals Surf. I didn't know that. Okay, thanks Lightswarm. Academy going up, so this will be a 1 base 2 racks Academy, and I think this is a good response. You can get the Academy up, you can wait for Stim or not, get the medics out, and push Zerg, and Zerg's really far behind too. After a failed 4 pool, it's really tough coming back. That's right, HM3 is Surf in Pokemon games. And I think it always has been. Okay, so Flipendo trying to get some extra damage done with these Zerglings. Unfortunately, just losing 2 of them. This kind of puts him in a rougher spot because Flipendo really needs every combat unit that he can muster if he's going to fend off this upcoming 2 racks Academy push. And look at this huge swath of Marines right here. So we have 10 total, 1 in the bunker, 9 right here. And Stim about 40% complete. This is going to be a really strong timing attack. Like I don't see a way out as Zerg. When 4 pool fails, I mean, I can't blame you if you try to stay in the game and try to make something happen, right? But you're basically screwed. It's so hard. You're economically just flatlined. 3rd barracks coming up for Surf. Stim's done. 2 medics. 10 Marines. Gonna come up and secure the natural expansion. Yeah, this is great. This is a really great position for Terran. And this is probably the best response that you can do as Zerg. Yeah, sunks up. So it'll be 4, 2 right off the bat, and then 2 creep colonies. Marines are pushing out. Here comes the attack. Oh, one of these medics gets a little ahead of herself. Natural Command Center going up for Surf. Still producing SCVs, getting that Marine range. Zerg side, no layer yet, still droning. Wow, 4 sunks, 5th colony, 5th sunk going up. So I think this should be enough of a defense for Flipendo, actually. This was probably the best response. And we got to get this force moving out a little bit. He's at least got to peek the front. Scan going down for Surf. I'm going to scan the main and see that layer is on its way, and it's 7:45. So, he knows he should be ahead on the tech route, but he sees all the Sunkens, knows he can't push, pulls back. Very good. Keeping Marines at the front of the NAT in case there's any run-bys. Very smart. And all 3 barracks with all the gears turning. Not resting on SCVs. Very, very good. Very good from Surf. Double Evo chamber. Okay. Alright. Alright. I think it's pretty brave to go for upgrades early. Carapace. Yeah, this looks like a crazy Zerg setup. You have your front completely walled off with Sunkens, going fast upgrades, or at least fast Carapace. Hawk SC. Yeah, I think this is the Hawk style of doing ZVT. This is what he did in his F to S series a lot, I think. Just make a bunch of Sunkens. Look at all these Sunkens. That's 8 Sunken colonies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's nice. So, from coming back from 4 pool, this actually isn't too bad. I mean, we're 21 drones to 28 SCVs. I mean, still clearly Terran's in the lead, right? But it's all about how the mid-game is going to shape up. I mean, look at this huge Marine force that's sitting outside the natural, just waiting. Gas starting at the Nat for Zerg. And yeah, melee attack being upgraded, Carapace being upgraded. Are we going to see any more Sunks? Is the question. Yeah, Queen's Nest. This is going to be like crazy Zerg. So we'll have to wait and see. Siege tanks in siege mode coming out for Surf. Yeah, great play right here. This will power down the Sunks. You don't need to take any losses. You could just sit back and wait. Yeah, second factory coming down even as well, and some missile turrets as well in the main base. Probably worried about Mutalisk play, but another scan I think would show you, if you scan the Nat, that that's unnecessary. Macro hatch going down, and Hive now started on its way. Okay, first siege tank is rolling out. +1 infantry weapons on the way. And siege mode is done. So once this tank reaches the front line and sieges up, Flipendo is going to need to respond or simply die on a timer. Because the siege tank will take all of these out and Terran can suffer 0 losses. Okay, trying to send a drone out. Unsuccessful, and the siege begins. So now a clock begins for Flipendo. Gotta make something happen here. Otherwise, all these Sunkens will be sieged down, and then the Marines and medics will just kill you. And the only answer, yeah, is Zerglings, and Flipendo realizes that he's just not going to have the tech up in time to deal with this, and Zerglings are not going to stop this force, so GG's out, and that's the end of our first game. So that's a point for Surf. And we'll have to see what the match on Good Night looks like. Hopefully not another 4 pool. So, here is game number 2. This time on Good Night with the same players. In the top right corner, again, is the orange Zerg. It's going to be Flipendo. In the lower left corner is the green Terran. It's Surf. HM3. Pokemon trivia time. Which badge did you need in Gen 1 in order to use Surf? Anybody? Cold warp gates coming right off the cuff with Kogas. That's right. That's the right answer. Okay, so this time a more macro-focused opening. Drone up to 9. Overlord. Flipendo decides, okay, I'm going to play normal this game. Overlord going to the left. Yep, standard macro opening for Surf. So the thing about Good Night, it seems to be, I don't know, a lot of people seem to either love it or hate it. I don't really know if there's much of an in-between. Personally, I like it. I like anything that's new and refreshing. Alright, so we're going to see a 12 hatch out of Flipendo here. Ooh, alright. And then Rax Gas for Surf. So, possibly a factory opening or mech play. Scout moving out. I think this is probably a little bit late. You want to do a little earlier against Zerg. Oh, awesome. This is Hatch Gas Pool from Flipendo. Cool. So what you can do with this, there's a lot of interesting things you can do. This will let you get a lot of extra gas early on, such that you can get Zergling speed and layer at the same time instead of picking one over the other. So I'll be interested to see if Flipendo does decide to do that, or, you know, whatever else he has planned. This drone scout going to find Terran. And this Marine going to intercept, sort of. Gets one shot off. And yeah, drone's going to come in, see the gas, see the factory coming up. So we should see a colony come down for vulture defense. And okay, 311, 312 layer. Alright. Not too bad, not too bad at all. You want to shoot for, if you're doing 2 hatch tech, like 2 hatch muta, you want to shoot for 255 to 3 for layer timing. We should see a creep colony down here soonish. No vulture just yet. Also no add-on just yet. 2 vultures queued up. Alright, so we're going to go with the vulture first. Here's that creep colony I was talking about. Keeping the SCV here for full scout. There are no lings out. And 2 overlords on the way. 1 pair of zerglings on the way. Layer's about to pop soon. We'll see the tech route that Flipendo decides to use. And this SCV should get pushed back from the sunken. Okay, so Vulture taking a defensive posture here at the natural. And I think that's alright. Surf's plan here is to go for an early expand. So if there were a Zergling run by, the Vultures would be able to deal with it no problem. Armory coming down. That is a very early armory. Actually, it's not that early, I don't think. Factory, armory, factory. This looks like the startings for a Goliath build. Well, 430-ish. No, I guess that's fine. Yeah, that's about the right time. Maybe I'm just being the big dumb right now. Okay, does decide to send these vultures out to try and see if he can get some damage done. Loses 1 to the sunken, gets the other past. Only a couple zerglings chasing though. If Surf knows how to do some good vulture micro, we could take these lings out and start harassing the drones. So here we go. Let's see what happens here. Because this is actually a very important defining moment in the game. So far, not bad. Vulture taking a little bit of damage and starting to get some damage done on those drones. Oh, but a bunch of Zerglings pop. Alright, this should get cleaned up, no problem. There we go. The Spire pops and should have vision of the Spire. I don't think I can check now. Yeah. But he should have seen it. And 5 Mutalisks on the way for Flipendo. Meanwhile, on Terran's side, yep, we have Goliath range on the way. Goliath's coming out. Second factory on the way. And mech armor. Okay, here's our first Mutalisk. 5 more on the way. That'll make 6. There's 5. Now 2 more on the way. No upgrade from the Spire just yet. And yeah, these mutas are going to move across the map now. See what damage they can get done. Bunker up at the front. Only 1 Goliath though, and no turrets. I'm a little bit scared for Surf here. Yeah, this is just not enough. Starting to pick some SCVs off, getting some economic damage done. Very nice. Picks off just about all the SCVs at this natural. Continues to move inward. Ignores the Goliath. I think that's pretty smart. There's only 1 there. Now that there's 3 out, alright. The fight's a little more intense. Mech armor, about 60% of the way done. More mutas coming across the map. And it looks like we're committing to this heavy Mutalisk play. +1 attack for mutas. Yeah, about 30% done. Here we go, about to lose 1 of those mutas. Ooh, very close. Okay, and a fight breaks out between 4 Goliaths and the Mutalisks. Flipendo decides to back off. Playing it really safe, waiting for these Zerglings to catch up. Okay, you send the Zerglings in, but you gotta send the mutas in as well to go along with them. 1 of the Goliaths goes down. And decides to fight, picks off another Goliath. 1 of the Mutalisks dies. Yeah, so Goliaths have base armor of 1. And when this completes, which is right now, they'll have 2. You really don't want to use Zerglings against that. They'll do 3 damage apiece, and it'll just take them forever to kill Goliaths. So really, the only thing that Flipendo has to really do damage and hold off on against these Goliaths is just the Mutalisks. Now +1 attack is on the way, but it's not done yet. More Mutalisks being rallied across the map. This is starting to look kind of all-in-ish. But here we go. Getting into the mineral line here, the main of Terran. Ooh, and going for the armory snipe. Uh-oh, I think he accidentally attacked 1 of his zone Mutalisks. That's unfortunate. And I'm gonna go ahead and decide to take the fight with the Goliaths. Goliaths back off. And there's more Mutalisks up here, but they're not being rallied in. I think if Flipendo brought those 5 in and coalesced with this group here, it would for sure be game ending. It's gonna get this armory, and picking off the armory is a pretty big deal. That'll stunt Goliath production. So now Surf will need to replace that if he wants to build more Goliaths. And now every Goliath is very precious, and Surf just lost another one. And actually, this game's getting crazy because Flipendo's attacking from 2 fronts. And the Mutalisk harassment is just too much. Surf taps out. Flipendo takes game number 2. You can still hear the carnage in the background. So now we've got a series on our hands. game number 3 to wrap up this series. Who will take it? Will it be Flipendo? Will it be Surf? Find out right now. Finally, map number 3 on Butter. In the top right of Butter is the red Zerg, it's Flipendo. In the bottom right is the magenta Terran. It's Surf. So, this map is pretty smooth. I like it. It's a bit like a criminal, you know, that's undercover. I didn't like it at first, but it broke into my heart like that. And now I'm expecting to see all the groaning and eye rolling. I'm memeing on you guys, I'm sorry. Undercover, like a James Bond game. That's a James Bond drone right there. For anyone missing that reference, it's you gotta watch the Tastosis casts of ASL to get that last one. Okay, so it looks like we're probably gearing up for another 12 hatch here from Flipendo. Send this Overlord out. Yep, there you go. Here's the drone. Normal 11 racks. Here's our 12 hatch. And our drone scout moving out. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Very curious. This is greedy on Flipendo's part. Going 2 drones and then going for gas before pool again. Super greedy. If Surf had opened up with like a forward 8 racks, Flipendo would be dead. Or a BBS, he'd be dead. So taking a lot of economical risk in game number 3 when everything's on the line. I kind of like it. Racks completes, 2 Marines queued up. I'd like to see just 1 Marine queued up. When you queue something up, it takes the resources away. So this is 50 minerals you could spend somewhere else, like another depot that you need right now. Of course, he is building it. It's just kind of tucked away behind here, and it is on time, so he's not going to get supply blocked. And yeah, this drone should get picked off. Clowning. So it takes the gas. When you do this, when you make a building with a drone and cancel, you get a full health drone back. So tried to do that to get out and away with the drone. Lost a couple minerals in the process and unfortunately didn't get the drone out, but does get confirmation that it's going to be a fast command center. Two Zerglings out for Flipendo. Now I don't like how late the layer is, assuming this will be 2 hatch layer. It's a great surround on the SCB, picks it off. 6 Zerglings, 8 Zerglings, oh my. Okay, this is a bit aggressive. I'd like to see these cross the map now and put on some pressure. Still no layer. Okay, 3rd hatchery. And with Zergling speed about 70% of the way, this looks like a 3 hatch Zergling all in. Most definitely the 3 hatch Zergling all in. So we have a bunker coming up here. This is smart. As Terran, if you lose your scouting SCV to Zerg too early, just put up a bunker in your natural. You basically have to. It's not worth sending out another scout. You need every SCV mining. And unfortunately, Surf is resting on SCV production with both of the command centers, and I think that might come back to bite him a little bit later. Oh, here they come. Here they come. That's a dozen Zerglings. With a dozen more back at home. Oh, there we go. Gonna send those out. And yeah, the biggest problem here is that Surf is blind. Has no idea this is coming. Doesn't have any intel. And this is just too open. Even with the bunker here, if all these Zerglings come in at the same time, it's basically going to be game over. Medics coming out. Stim. Oh, Stim could actually make a big difference. Engineering bay. Comsat's going up. And a push out. Okay, so this is like... Yeah, this is... When your first turn Marines pop out, you have the option to move across the map and put some pressure on Zerg, but... Yeah... Having not known about all of these Zerglings, gonna get caught out in the middle of the map here. And surrounded. And an absolute slaughter ensues. Now, Flipendo completely poised to take this game and this series. So yeah, I think if you just run the Zerglings into the main, yeah, you pretty much just win. Turrets up for the Mutalisks that are not coming. Only more Zerglings. This is many Zerglings, yes? Ultimate Zergling production. Non-stop Zergling production. Yeah, this game should be over. This game should be in Flipendo's hands. Alright, if you're going to come back to the nat, at least they're on the bunker. There we go. Gonna take that down. These two Marines are dead. That's game. That's game. Never underestimate the power of a good all-in. Especially in a series. And everything's on the line, so Surf really trying to give it all he's got. But there's just too many Zerglings. GG is called. Flipendo takes the game and the series. Very cool, very exciting. So, both teams tied 1 series to 1. And we'll have to get into our third series now. It's going to be between SirenM and Herold. These have been some pretty great games so far. I'm never really disappointed casting CPL. So, SirenM versus Herold. Game number 1. Here we go. Back on Neosulfid, in the top center is the red Terran. It's going to be Herold. In the lower left is the light blue Zerg. I think that's light blue. It's going to be SirenM. I'm curious to see how these two players play, because I've never seen either one of them. Like, I know who they are. They're in CPL for sure. I just haven't seen their games, so I don't know the style expected. This is an interesting move out with the initial Overlord. Coming up to maybe peek and see if there's any early shenanigans coming to the natural, instead of going to scout the opponent's base. That's an early scout. Okay, depot sort of in the formation of a wall here. Yeah, this is quite early. So the typical Terran Scout timing versus Zerg is approximately 11.5. And then if the first SCV does not find on a 4-player map, you send out another SCV in case there's a Zergling rush coming. On this map you can do that as well. There'll just be a little bit of redundancy. Okay, barracks coming down. Alright. If this is a committed gas, this looks like, what, 9 pull speed? Maybe? Oh boy, Diggity SC raiding me with a party of 36. Hey, thank you so much. Casting some Brood War content here, CPL, first week's matches.
I tell you what, I think I'll join up.
Thanks for the follow. Super sweet. Okay, so this extractor did get cancelled. That leads me to believe that it's kind of just an expansion with some Zerglings behind it. Yeah, here comes the hatchery going down at the Nat, some Zerglings popping out. Yeah, this is kind of like a pressure economic build. It's weird. It's a little in between. It's nice though. The only thing is, it'll delay your tech because gas comes so much later. So you're exchanging early tech for earlylings, but still getting the expansion. It's all stylistic. Meanwhile, on Herold's side, kind of sniffing that something's up, putting a bunker in the main. Has taken an early gas and is now getting the factory. Drone comes in, scouts it, and finds one Marine in an empty bunker. Sees the factory, sees the gas. And these Zerglings poised to kill this SCV, knocking on the extractor. So here we go, 2 more pairs of Lings being morphed. That'll bring us up to 10. And Siren should move across the map with these. At least secure the enemy's natural. We'll see how this progresses. Another factory coming down for Herold. No armory just yet, so we're not committing to an early Goliath style. Ooh, getting the machine shop early. Alright. We could see a couple different variations here. This could be speed for vultures, which would be quite nice against the large swarm of Zerglings that Siren has invested in. And wow, look at this hatchery placement. That's cool. I don't think I've ever seen a player do this before. That's neat. So this will help choke off a little bit of the natural. There'll still be a gap up here that I think vultures can fit through. Making a creep colony behind this, so both players pretty much taking defensive postures. Third factory going down for Herold. Still no armory. But an engineering bay. Yeah, at this point, this engineering bay would be if you were definitely expecting Mutalisks. Because I don't think you would get the infantry upgrades when you're already heavily invested in mech. And the first unit, siege tank. Oh, this is definitely off meta. I like this. This is cool. You don't see this too often. Hydra Den. Alright. So 2 basing Zerg on Hydra Den with 3 hatches. And again, positioning the buildings with a nice SimCity to block off the front and choke it up. No layer just yet. So staying on the early tech. Ooh, even getting an early Evo chamber as well. Siege mode on the way. That should be done relatively soon. Another siege tank. I'd really like to see these 2 factories working. There we go. So another tank. I'd like to see a vulture working out of this one. If you build the infrastructure, be sure to use it. Otherwise you're just stunting yourself. Lots of Zerglings. This is more than a dozen Zerglings. Some Hydralisks coming out. None of the upgrades just yet, but lots of units being pumped out for Siren. And this looks like bust force. This looks like something you'd want to bust Terran with. Another creep colony for defense, just in case. So for tier 3 players out there, when you decide to build static defense, it should primarily be in response to something that you've scouted. Otherwise, if you're unsure, yes, it can make sense sometimes to build some just in case, but you really want to be responding to something. Like, you'd want an Overlord to see that there was something moving out here, like Marines and Medics, and then you'd build the Sunkens in response. Otherwise, for Zerg especially, it's a lot of lost resources. You're not only losing the drones that you need to mine, but you're also consuming your resources to do so as well. And here we do finally have this move out from Herold. Going to lead with 2 Vultures and 4 Siege Tanks, 5 Siege Tanks, a Marine, and some SCVs. These Vultures will intercept a lot of Hydralisks, but Siren's force is quite sizable. And still continuing to pump Hydras, getting that Hydralisk speed. And Herold, despite seeing the army that Zerg has outside the Nat, decides to continue pressing forward. Sieges up. Gets an early good volley off. But unfortunately these Zerglings are already on top of the tanks. Now the Hydras are bunched up a little bit, so the splash damage from the tanks is going to rip them apart. And Terran actually cleans this up pretty handily, but the attack force is, well, it's beaten down pretty badly. You could try to siege this position, I suppose, but with extra Hydras on the way and Hydra range, or no, that's not Hydra range, it's +1 range from the Evo chamber. With the Hydras on the way, I think this should be this should be cleanable. Clean-upable. Blah 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 blah. But in either case, with more Siege Tanks reinforcing and Siren going for the Hydra tech, a Siege Tank concave like this outside of Zerg's natural will ensure that no Zerg forces can get out if this is held. Gotta fall back further with those Hydras, unfortunately losing them. Picking on one of his own Marines, that poor SCV. That Marine picked on him. More tanks being rallied. And yeah, here we have double tank production once again. Vultures coming out here. And this looks like a pretty strong attack, actually, from Herold. This wall, the Sim City that Siren had put up, as beautiful as it was, honestly, walls just don't do anything against Terran mech. So I have the suspicion that Siren did not think that this was going to be like a siege tank heavy push early on. So a little bit unfortunate, but yeah, it does have to tap out because Hydras can't really fight this, and Sunkens definitely can't fight this. So game 1 goes to Herold. Nicely done. That puts a point on the board for Herold. And then we'll just have to delve into game number 2 for this series. Here we go, game number 2 on good night. In the top left corner, as the navy blue Zerg, it's going to be SirenM. And in the lower right corner is the red Terran, it's going to be Herold. So very off-meta builds in game number 1, but still makes for incredibly interesting games. The siege tank push, extremely successful. But will we see something different this time out of Herold? Will we see perhaps bio? Will he go mech again? And furthermore, Will Zerg go for an early layer this time? A Spire perhaps? Or will we see Hydralisks again? Okay, so Zerg's banking and sitting on 9. So this leads me to believe it's going to be a 9 pool. There's our pool. Terran with a normal supply timing. Set with a wall. Here comes the gas. So here we kind of come full circle back to where game number 1 is, and I'll explain it again. If Siren decides to commit to this gas, then it's 9 pull speedlings. If this gets cancelled, then it's just going to be gasless expand with Zerglings behind it. And again, yeah, okay, so there's the cancel. So this is an Overlord. These larvae, the third one that pops out, all 3 of these will be used for Zerglings. Siren will take a very, very safe natural expansion, move out with the Zerglings. And that's just the exchange that you make. You exchange your fast tech for early map control and pressure. So here we go, 3 pairs of Lings on the way. Herold Scout going to come up and scout them just in time. And with a wall here, even if Siren guessed the correct location to send these Zerglings, the wall with some Marines behind it, which Marines probably will be up in time, at least one, I don't think these Zerglings will really be able to put on a lot of pressure. There's our Nat hatch. And now we're droning. Okay, so yeah, I'd like to see a gas be taken here. Zergling's not really sure where to go. Just going to chase this SCV for now, see if... oh, deciding not to commit up the ramp here. This could be a mistake. And yeah, bunker down to complete the wall. I really think this could have just been this supply depot right here, and then Terran could just park the Marines right here behind the barracks, and that would have been alright. But this is good too. If you're unsure, then bunker. That's fine. So again with the early gas, typically for bioplay, for Terran versus Zerg, you get a second barracks before you take your gas. But this could be something like a quick +1, or for whatever reason a very early academy. Okay, gas finally being mined by Siren, but only with 2 drones. And yeah, these Zerglings really combing across the map, looking for any signs of Terran, and really going to arrive here late. And this bunker's already completely full. Yeah, this needed to be pulled back. So unfortunately, Siren just going to lose all these Zerglings for free. This puts Terran in a really comfortable position because that could have been 3 additional drones mining. So here we are, deciding to commit to this 3-factory build once again for Herold. And there's nothing wrong with that. Mech versus Zerg is quite powerful. And again, deciding to commit with Hydras for Siren. So a few more Zerglings were made. A macro hatch being placed down once again at a choke point in the natural. Engineering bay going down. So yeah, this looks almost identical to game number 1, just on a different map. Will this be another siege push? If it is, I've gotta worry for Siren because of the Hydralisk tech choice. Hydras just don't fare well against tanks. Creep colony for defense going down. Army units parked right here comfortably at the natural. And now we kind of just wait for further developments. Herold gonna go ahead and take a guess as to the tech thinking that it could be Mutalisks on the way, so putting up these turrets. And the turrets are timed pretty well. Unfortunately, 'tis not Mutalisks, but 'tis Hydras. Okay, so here we have the layer moving up. 3-hatch layer Hydra tech. And just slowly producing our way up. Hydra's got some Overlords on the way, Hydra speed on the way. And yeah, looks like double siege tank production with Vulture in the 3rd factory. This looks like the same style push that we saw last game. Yeah, and this push this time has more Marines in it, which should increase the DPS quite a bit. Now, if Siren's got sharp eyes and peeks at the minimap, should definitely see this Terran move out. And should now definitely know about it, since you get the notification when you get damaged. So we'll see how Siren decides to respond to this. It's another siege push out. Droning really heavily. We're actually tied in workers, 21 to 21. Yep, I'm pulling some of the boys as well for repairs. So this is a very committed push. So you have to see if there's anything else tech-wise coming up. No, it does not look like it, but reinforcements on the way. First siege, first volley comes up, and here we go. The engagement. This is actually very important. If Siren loses all these Hydras here, it's a pretty dire moment, but fortunately it does pick off 2 of the tanks early on, which is great. 2 still remain though, and that's going to invalidate the Sunkens. Again, putting Siren on a timer to deal with these, and wow, great surround with the Zerglings. Does he pick it off? Yes! That leaves just 1 tank left. This is already a much, much better response and a much better defense out of Siren. Pick off the tank. Good focus fire, just not quite enough muscle. And trickling units in is definitely not going to help. So the situation kind of looking dire again for Siren because he's out of army. Okay, maybe a little bit of a misstep there by Herold, moving in a little too soon, but it's just, it doesn't matter. There's too much Terran muscle here. The siege, the mechs, the boys, it's just too much. Herold takes this game. Very nicely done. Very nice 2-0. Folks, that leaves us with 2 series left. The series between Void and Dada, and Vaclavson and Zoey. Gonna go ahead and jump in here. Next up will be Void versus Dada. We'll jump into game 1 right now. Here we go on Neo Sylphid.
I think I'll join up.
In the lower left corner is the red Zerg. It's Void, aka Walyowen. And in the lower right corner is the yellow Zerg. It's Dada. First Zerg versus Zerg series. Alright. Will it be a super quick series or just a quick series? That is the question. Now, as these worker counts approach 9, we have to start paying closer attention to the larva usage. Will we see an Overlord? We do for Void. And we also do for Dada. Okay. So no 9 pulls. Now, the one unfortunate aspect is that Dada's Overlord is not going to scout first, but Void's will. So, builds so far identical. Both Overlords pop and 2 drones immediately out of both players. So this will be a 12 timing for both players. Oh, and look at that. Pool's already down for Dada. So going to have a little bit of a pool timing edge here. Yeah, pool just slightly behind for Void. Void taking gas. Faster than Dada, though. So faster pool, slower gas. Faster gas, slower pool. And when it comes to the Zerg versus Zerg matchup, these small, tiny, seemingly insignificant details really add up fast. This is all very important stuff. Natural hatch. Natural hatch. Void's just a little bit quicker. Just a bit. 3 pairs of Lings on the way for Dada. 3 pairs of Lings on the way for Void. Very balanced so far. Not a lot of discrepancy between builds between these 2 players. That's pretty cool, because what that ends up meaning is that everything can come down to micro and small optimizations in timing. Like, for example, if one of the 2 players gets their layer at a significant timing advantage, that could be critical. Or if one of the players performs excellent Ling micro on the other, that could be a significant advantage. And yeah, just non-stop Zergling production. Zergling speed on the way for both. And this is kind of what I was talking about before, with a significant layer speed advantage for Dada. So essentially now what that means for Void is it's still with no layer. Void's on a timer now. A timer with these Zerglings. Something has to get done damage-wise. Oh, and look at this. Dada's playing smart. He knows the only way, if he can just get in here and peek that there's no layer, he'll know that the only way you can lose is by Zerglings. Because look, this layer's done. And layer just now started for Void. And this drone right here is poised to make a Spire. So Dada just needs a good defense. There's the Spire. And yeah, so Void has Zerglings that are in position outside the Nat. Ooh, good aggro pull. Every single Zergling counts. The only thing that Void really has going for him right now is the 4 drone lead, which is now 8. An 8 drone lead over Dada, but a much, much slower tech. So if nothing happens with these Zerglings here, and Dada holds, and gets these mutas out timely and across the map, that's it. That'll be game. That's crazy. 9-18. That's a 9 drone lead. Okay, so a couple more drones pop out. Now we have a 6 drone lead. And Void deciding to pull back with the Zerglings. Oh, and going creep colony. Yeah, and I think this is the right play right here. They get the evolution chamber. And then creeps in your bases. Yeah, you're going to need the spore colonies. So, good game sense out of Void here. This is absolutely a necessary play. Especially since the Spire's popped. And we only have 1 Mutalisk on the way, but 1 Mutalisk is enough right now to hold a complete edge. Map control, and maybe even harass a little bit. Okay, these spores will be up on time, so we'll save the drones. I'd like to see maybe a spore here or here or something, because this right here is relatively undefended. This will not reach up here. So here's our first Muta, just kind of chilling out. For Zerg players, when it comes to micromanagement, I strongly suggest never resting on Mutas. It's hard, I know, but always try to keep them moving, always try to keep them harassing something, looking, scouting, doing anything. Abuse their mobility. Okay, trying to crack this open. It's a fair number of Zerglings for both players, but it looks like Dada might have a slight edge. And indeed, yes, this battle does go in Dada's favor, so getting some of the drones picked off as well. This is a very critical moment for this game and this series. Oh, can he pick this drone off? Get it! Alright, gets the other drone. And yeah, comes in, finds the spore with the Mutalisk, has to back out. And that's a very injured Mutalisk. So we'll have to see more. So that was good. With the Zergling attack, that was really good. Managed to reduce the drone count. Still a 2-drone lead for Void, though. And now the Spire is up for Void. And he is producing his own Mutalisks. That should hopefully be able to contend here, but, well, we have a lot of resources banked up for Void. So if he's got the Larva, he can produce quite a lot of Mutalisks. And we have a lot of gas banked up for Dada. And alright, yeah, so more Mutalisks are coming out. And yes, finds the weak spot I was talking about right here and picks off a drone. Yes, there's no range here to cover this. Void will have to respond with Mutalisks. Oh, taking a super aggressive posture and just diving right into the main. Yeah, there are spores here, but it looks like his interest is solely in the drones. But you have to be careful about committing here because Wallowin, aka Void, does have all of his Mutalisks of his own. It looks like they're fairly evenly matched, but these are full health Mutas right here. So Dada has to retreat. This is a smart decision right here. Got some good macroeconomic damage done, picked off some drones, completely evened the playing field with the drones. And now we see Scourge play. Awesome. Yeah, so there are no Scourge fielded for Void, and we'll have to see if these connect. One does go down. See, do we get that patrol micro? Yep, we're attempting it. I think that was a kill. Kill it. And another kill, no connections. Oh, and a fight breaks out, but Dada has more Mutalisks and Scourge chasing, and one connects, kills a Muta. Another connection, killing another Muta. And Void needs to reinforce with Mutas, like, now. Because now we're at sizable Mutalisk counts. 8 is quite significant. This is not a good spot to fight, though. You don't want to fight above 2 spores and all the Mutas. I understand you want to get more economic damage done, and indeed, Dada picks off 2 more drones, giving him the drone lead, but by doing so, you give Void the Mutalisk lead, and that could just end the game. Picks off an Overlord supply blocking Dada. And no spores of any kind to be seen. And a full committed fight here. And there's just too much for Void left over. We do have some extra forces in the air popping, but I think this is just too much. Even with the Scourge here, this is just too much. Okay, lots of injured Mutalisks for Void though, so perhaps deciding to play it safe. Fall back. Yeah, lots of additional Mutalisks are out here. Still in a favorable position with 1 drone lead. And a full group of Mutalisks. Yeah, and here we have an Evo Chamber coming out late for Dada, for the Spore Colonies. And doing some drone pumping as well. A lot of risk taking here on both players' parts. Lots of drone pumping. Oh, we got a full group of Zerglings up here. That full group of Zerglings could take this game just by themselves. ZVZ, this is kind of how it looks. Here we go, another swath Mutalisks comes in. Full group of 12, even. Just gonna park. Okay, here we go. Here comes the engage. Picks off, wow, 3 drones. Backs out or commit? Commits a little bit. Really good volley, gets off on one of these Mutalisks and kills it outright. Also snaps the Overlord's neck in half. Oh, patrol, micro. Kill it. Very nice. Well done. Lots of Scourge. Lots of Scourge. 6 pairs of Scourge in production. These mutas decided they did want to dive on just a single spore, but with the mutas here, yeah, decides to pull back, play it safe. A little bit of indecisiveness. Oh, and the Scourge pop. And that's going to force Void back. We'll see some more excellent micro here. Yep, gets one of the Scourge. Gets both. Nice. Alright, now this is dicey. This is dicey. Yeah, gonna go ahead and fall back. I agree. You got your spores to cover. Pull the Scourge back. Oh no, that's a lot of free Scourge. That's a lot of larva and gas value lost. So Void should be feeling pretty comfortable now. Especially with this tremendous drone lead. Dada committing really hard to Scourge production. But the thing with Scourge is, if you're going to produce them, you have to get them to connect. Okay, we are seeing some connections here. And these ones are really close. I don't think you can micro this. And once again, just going to fall back to the main. And I'd really like to see these Scourge pull out again this time. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. More free gas value. More free larva. Positioning Void into a stronger lead. So we have 6 Mutalisks here for Dada, and 10 here for Void. He's going to continue pressing in. Now I'd like to see this boxed up with a Larva and Overlord, so that they group up. A really good volley goes off for Dada, killing one of the initial red Mutalisks. And a full fight breaks out here, and this could determine the game. And the fight's relatively even. But Dada falls back a little bit, suffers a drone loss, and now there is an immense drone lead. 25-8. Now, that's remarkable. Truly. So we'll just have to see where the production lies. Okay, a lot more Scourge again for Dada. So we're going to have to rely on micromanagement and getting those connections. Another macro hatch for more larva coming out from Void. And once again flying across the map. Oh, oh, that was so close. Always got to get these connections with these Scourge. Oh, they're right on top. Oh, that's so close. Do not tell me for a third time we're going back. Okay, finally pulls the Scourge back this time. Whew, third time's a charm. But oh, whiffed back and decides to turn around. Alright, holding steady here. And yeah, I just... with such a strong economic lead... Oop, we're getting some Scourge connections here. Oh, very nice. Oh, very nice. But even with these connections, I just don't know. Oh, connect! Oh, picks off both of those Scourge. Nice. Very nicely done. I think we're really starting to see the scales tip here. Wow, 3 drones killed. Very quick volleys. Okay, so here we go with the micromanagement against the Scourge again. Void so far showing us some pretty good micro. Okay, oh, we do have some connections. Does kill a few of them off though. This is a pretty tight game of Muta Scourge micro. And Dada just trying real hard to stabilize by producing more drones. Quite a risky gambit, as we have the gas for all the Mutalisks that we need, but we just don't have enough mining minerals to keep up with Void's production. And here we go. I like this dive on this creep colony while it's relatively indefensible. Picking off some more drones. Oh, turn around and pick that off. Alright, so 11 mutas here. 8 mutas here. And 6 more mutas up top here. Are we going to see a double attack? Finally the Spore goes down. Both of these drones go down. And Void just taking his time, weaving in and out. Just looking for little bits of value. And here we go. This is a play right here. This is a great play. These separate Mutalisks that come in, yeah, Dada sees it. There's no defense here at all. All these drones are going to die, and that's game. Void takes game number 1. Alright, we'll see if game number 2 shapes up any better for Dada. See if he can pull back a little bit. Maybe even take the game, even it up, and turn it into a 3-part series. Here we go, on Good Night. In the bottom right corner is the blue Zerg, it's going to be Void. And in the bottom left corner is the pink Zerg, it's going to be Dada. This time the Overlord Scout patterns have reversed. Dada's going to get first Scout. And Void, unfortunately, in the wrong direction. Well, theoretically the correct direction, but per this game, the wrong direction. So here we are at this 9-drone breakpoint. Overlord's in production. So no 9 pools. Looks like we might see some more 12 population play. I'm curious to see if both players will go for the same builds, the same orders, the same styles. Maybe we'll see some Zergling play this time from one of the players. Maybe we'll see some Hydralisk play. That would be interesting. Okay, so pool's going down. Gas is being taken identically. And yeah, this is the point of confirmation for both players. When these overlords cross paths, they'll know where each other are. Breakdancing drone. Gonna take this natural. Just a little bit, just a pinch behind Dada's. No mining gas yet. There we go. So a bit of a small gas leak for Dada as well. All Lings in production. 3 pairs for both players. And yeah, we'll see if these Zerglings go across the map. I suspect not, because you see there's 6 Zerglings here. Maybe I'll go for it. Should be Zerglings behind for both players. And speed for both players as well. Speed a little quicker for Dada. Really everything just a bit quicker for Dada this game. Very nice. Let's get the scout off here. And yeah, with 6 Zerglings that have arrived, it's kind of hard to make anything happen against 8/10 Zerglings. So, lair on the way for Dada. No lair just yet for Void. Oh, but a good Zergling surround. Okay, quick response from Dada, pulls back. Very good. Don't want to stand fight that, you'll lose. And yeah, so far, strong tech lead for Dada. And only 1 drone on an advantage for Void. Here's the layer. We'll compare how late they are. Compare the difference. Look at how close this is to completing, and this one just started. Another Zergling engagement, this time with reinforcements to beef up Dada's forces. Oh, gets in and gets on these drones. Picks off 1 of them, 2 of them, 3. This was an excellent play. And gets out. Oh, absolutely brilliant. Well done. Oh, decides to come back in and commit a little bit. This is pretty far committed. Oh, you're going to take so much free damage, even losing 1 of them. Okay. Now park here, fall back. There we go. Lots of Zerglings for Void. Oh, this is getting scary. Gotta reinforce with all these Lings. Can't fight with these 2 groups separately. Spire on the way for Dada. And layer pops for Void. See how timely the Spire is. Very timely. And another significant Zergling fight at the natural choke point here. But it looks like Void just has too much. Oh, but Dada gets in. Dada gets in. Let's see how many drones that can be picked off here. Oh, wow. I don't think a single drone died there. Oh, that is so unfortunate. It was a really good run by, too. Okay, still heavily committing to Zerglings here. Getting a creep colony. I think this is necessary. You lost all your Zerglings. You know your opponent has a lot. Either you make the Zerglings, or you basically just die. So here we go. What's this being a sunken colony? Oh my gosh. The ramp. The ramp. Oh, that was so close. Alright, so with these Zerglings now in this defensive posture, here with the sunken colony, Dada should be fine. Void gonna recognize and back off. Spire about to complete. And only 1 Mutalisk in production for Dada. Yeah, the Zerglings forced, kind of stunted the timing for Mutas to come out. Lots of Zerglings for both players. Oh, 2 Overlords in the main for Void. This is 2 free easy picks that'll definitely supply block. Yeah. So we just have the 1 Muta. Okay, 3 Mutalisks on the way for Void. Both players kind of just hanging back. Yeah, here's what I wanted to see. Pick on these Overlords. Now, we'll check on the timing of these Mutalisks that pop. If these go straight across and intercept, I think They can save this Overlord, maybe? Unless Dada really commits to it. Alright, not really committing to it. Okay, so here come the first 3 Mutalisks. Oh my gosh, we gotta see more. Yeah, here's the other Mutalisks. Come save this one. Here we go. This is a very important fight. If one-sided, this fight could determine the game. Great moving shots from Dada. Excellent. Pick off this last Mutalisk. There we go, yeah. Excellent control shown from Dada. Everything coming out a little bit sooner and just reinforcing properly, and the way the Mutalisk fight ended the way there, it was a great game played from Dada, and that's going to tie the series up 1-1. And that means this is a full 3-part series, with everything coming down on the line in game number 3. Here we go. You know what time it is. It's butter time. So in the top right of butter, as the teal Zerg, it's going to be Dada. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, it's going to be Void. Thanks for the follow, Zoey. Okay. Game number 3. Same builds again? Yes, no? We'll work our way up to 9 drones, take another look, see where we're at. Here we go, 9 and 9. Take a look, there's Overlords in production. I'm actually kind of surprised that neither player went for 9-pull speed at least once. I think it's such a good pocket build in a series. But alas, here we are playing more economical builds. That's totally fine. It's all down to preference. Yep, pool's going down on 12. Gas is being taken, nearly identically. So the pools are about identical in timing, but Dada's gas is a little bit faster. And we're going to be taking natural hatches at the same time. Yeah, just about at the same time. So same builds. Players both sticking to their strengths, sticking to what they know. Zerglings on the way, Zerglings on the way. I could just be a broken record at this point. Okay, Zergling speed on the way, a little bit faster for Void. Zergling's moving across the map for Dada. Now, this is kind of interesting. The initial Overlord placement is different for both players. As we can see here, Dada's first Overlord is at the choke of the natural, peeking the hatchery here, and also checking for move outs. Voids is here checking on the tech in the main base. Oh, gotta be careful with these Zerglings. Okay, good. Puts a few points on this hatchery. Nice. Gets a Zergling pick. And yeah, it's still deciding to commit hard to this aggression. The hatchery's about halfway. It does have to pull back. Okay, losing 2 Zerglings. Speed's done for both of our players. Layers are both on the way. This time Void's layer is much quicker. Oh, but this hatchery. Can't lose this hatchery. Oh my goodness. Void loses his natural hatchery. This is an excellent play from Dada. Now what this means is that transitioning towards the early parts of the mid-game, Dada's going to be at a significant larva advantage. And the comeback potential for Void here is now, is right now, with the superior Zergling numbers. He has to go across the map and fight. And oh no, unfortunately Dada is droning. So not going to be able to reinforce the Zerglings at home here. And yeah, this was the comeback potential that I was talking about. It was a really good position that Dada was in, but I think just unfortunately unable to defend against the counterattack that was quite significant in size. So Void's going to take the series. That's the pitter-patter of my Shiba Inu walking around behind me. Okay, so that takes us to our very last series for today. Until tomorrow, that is, where I'll be streaming again at the same time. Same teams, Tier 1, be there. But for now, let's get into our very last series of the day. Alright, here we go. Our last series is going to be between Vaclavson and Zoey. Game number 1, booting it up. Game number 1 on Neo Sylphid. Here we have spawning in the top center as the bluish-gray Protoss. It's Zoey. And in the lower left as the light yellow, I think. Yeah, it's Vaclavson. And this is our first PVT of the day as well. It's going to be refreshing going from a ZVZ to a PVT. We'll see how it develops. No quick shenanigans. We're just going to open up nice and standard. Gateway in main. Ostensibly after this 9 supply and 11 racks in main. It looks like it's coming out. Plus a scout. Oh my goodness. I just dropped my microphone, I'm sorry. Okay, so normal gas timing as well. Probably see a factory expand opening here out of Vaclavson. Scout's gonna cross path, and Kith. Okay, gate core opening here for Zoey. Oh, yeah, sorry. I turned the setting back up. My mic probably got a little quiet there. No, I just, when it fell, it bonked on the volume setting and it went down a little bit, so my bad. Now it's actually a little loud. Okay, I'll adjust it just a bit. Alright, so this SCV comes in here and scouts tech opening first. Dragoon on the way. Factory on the way here for Vaclavson. Only mining one SCV on this gas here, so that does telegraph to us it'll be a quick expansion. Here's this Dragoon popping out. Gonna chase this SCV and kill it. Probe getting in position to drop a Nexus. Oh, okay, here we go. 2 more guys back on gas and a second factory. And a bunker at the front. Now we're starting to get into mind game territory here. I like this from Vaclavson. If Zoey doesn't manage to rescout, this will catch... This should catch Zoey off guard. And yeah, the Marine's going to push back this probe. And committing 1 gate robo, fast expand nexus. I think this is probably... Ooh. Probably going to end up in Vaclavson's favor with this push if it comes out timely. Spider mines being researched, tank in production. Very nice. A wall already started by Zoey, using the Dragoons and the pylons. This is anti-vulture right here. But unfortunately, there's going to be more than just vultures coming when this 2-fact hits. Yes, worker fight. Okay, quick reaction from Zoey, pulls the probe back. Very good. First tank already out. Another tank in production. Mine's about to complete. Vulture in production. And yeah, this is going to be a 2-gateway observatory, which is pretty standard and quite safe. It's quite a safe opening for Protoss. Oh, are we checking for shenanigans, or are we performing shenanigans ourselves? Oh, please tell me this is a proxy starport. Siege mode now on the way. Nothing yet here. Observers on the way. And now this base is up and mining for Zoey. This puts Zoey at a strong economic lead, as the natural command center for Vaclavson has just only started. So we're going to need to see that push come out, and we're going to need to see the push do actual damage to stay even in this game. And I like this turret being smartly put up here for detection as well. This observer is going to get in and see just how late the CC is, and also going to take a peek at everything inside. And see that this is going to be a sort of 2-factory timing. Third Nexus being taken here. Oh yes, mine play. So this vulture will get picked off, and this vulture laying the mines here. And oh, unfortunately, The last mine does land, connects, puts these Dragoons heavily in the red, but I saw the micro attempt here, and it was a good attempt. Got the first mine for sure. Losing the Observer in the base. Double Armory follow-up. Now this is really cool. This is getting into some pretty cool territory. But still, 22 SCVs to 38 probes. It's starting to look like a really strong lead for Zoey. We're starting to power up a little bit more. Got these gates coming. There's a Citadel. And Vaclavson doing a pretty good job with these vultures around the map. Definitely laying some mines, getting some Dragoon picks. Got a pick there. The one consideration that I have is that when you lose these vultures, that's less for your main army. Dog attack. Yes, that was my happy Shiba Inu. Making his little happy growls. Okay, so we have 4 gateways producing, pumping out units. Nice sizable army here at the front for Zoey. My heart breaks for this SCV. I thought this was going to be something cool. Okay, so where are we at? 4 tanks. Vultures running around land mines. That's good. Oh, get this in and scout the tech. Ooh, interesting mine location. Oh. Whew. Man, that was close. Now that's a mine connection. Now that's a mine connection. Look at that. Whew. Oh man. I'm glad I didn't miss that. Awesome. A lot of tanks out for Vaclavson as well. And even with the excellent mine connections that we had here, Zoey's still up a considerable number of probes. And I gotta say, I still like the position for Zoey. We have double forge going at the same time. I'd like to see some more gateways, but it's still in a very strong position. Now, the one thing that's a significant consideration here is whether or not this Terran army and this push will do the damage that it needs to do, because if this push fails, that's basically going to be game. Oh, and an excellent G.O.S.U style walk forward, pick off a tank, back off. That was professional level right there. Ooh, and even some forces on the flank as well. Will Zoey decide to pinch? Yes. And oh, the mine drag. Pro level. What an excellent engagement on Zoey's part. Okay, so this definitely puts Zoey in a very firm lead. 4th base now going up. Some additional gateways being dropped. This is all looking really good. +1/+1 upgrades, a little more than halfway done. Control of the map. And Vaclavson floating in his 3rd. So we have +1/+1 on this mech. But just now getting our starport. So 2/2 upgrades for mech is going to be quite late. but 5 factories, and they're all punching out. 3 vultures, 2 tanks. And this is 9 gateways, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Upgrades about to kick in. Good pylon and photon cannon wall at the 4th here. And Terran just now getting the 3rd base operational. So another consideration to make here, and this is particularly on Neosilphid, is that these sort of pseudo high ground thirds, this is not actually truly high ground. The bases have significantly reduced resources. These fields only have 1,000. Oh, we have a big engagement happening up here. And the gas only has 1,500. So when taking these bases, you have to consider a 4th base a little bit quicker, because these will mine out fast. Alright, so Vaclavson setting up with a defensive posture, putting the mines down in the front here, tanks sieging behind, turrets going up. This observer is going to be toast in just about a second. And pretty good army positioning by Zoey. This has the potential to do a 3-point attack. There's one here. These are actually moving down to consolidate with this force here. This will be a 2-pronged attack here. Walking into these mines, though, going to take a lot of damage on these zealots. And I don't know, I think Terran's a little too entrenched here to really make this work. These zealots are getting some nice work done, however. And now this is a very, very favorable fight for Zoey, especially considering that reinforcements are on the way and practically here. And now with the reinforces consolidating with the main force that was attacking here, I think Protoss is just too overwhelming. Terran's lost a few too many tanks, and this game should be Protoss's. Very painful losing the 3rd command center as well. That's a huge macroeconomic blow. 5th base being taken for Zoey. And just continuing to pump out of these 9 gates. Very good, nice, smooth macroeconomic. Vulture run by here. Only 1 cannon though, so we might lose some probes here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This was really good harassment from Vaclavson. So, unfortunately at this part in the game, with so many Nexi on the map, replacing those probes is not really a big issue. The harassment was good, but it's less impactful this deep into the game. Okay, Vaclavson gonna retake his 3rd and resecure it. 3rd command center rebuilt. But still a very, very strong lead for Zoey. If you take a look at the supplies here, we have 168 to 75. That's extremely scary for Terran. And here we go, another main being taken. Already starting to drop some gateways down in it. Trying to retake this position at the 3rd here. Full production out of 5 factories. At this point, I'd like to see a lot more factories down. Probably up to 9, I think would be nice. Especially because we're floating a little bit. And we're having the 3rd retaken, so we'll have the money for it. Good spread army positioning by Zoey. Has full control of the center of the map. That's excellent, because this means that You can pinch the forces off and retreat back to the main, or retreat back to the other main that's now being taken. This is a good defensive layout right here. All these mines and some depots and turrets. Not enough tank coverage though, I don't think. But it's tough. It's especially tough when you've lost a lot of tanks in the game already. Vaclavson gonna go down and find the 5th, covered in photon cannons. Zoey starting to position army in more tactical locations. At the top here, scouting to see if this base was taken. It has in fact not. And I think Terran is actually pushing out to try and attack this 5th base, which might be a little bit of a mistake. This is a very shallow Terran army. Zoey's going to spot that immediately and pounce. And yeah, this Protoss force clears this Terran force out without very much issue at all. And the two-pronged attack from this side takes out a lot of the buildings here. These mines are getting in the way, but they're being cleared out. And this 3rd base should go down once again. Nice little hidden base being taken here. And yeah, once again for Vaclavson, this 3rd base is going to be toast. And Zoey, just with a nice stranglehold, excellent map control, takes the 3rd. It really does put Terran too far behind. Vaclavson GG's out. So Zoey takes game number 1. Very nice play. Now we'll jump into game number 2 for our last series. Game number 2 on good night. Here it is. So in the top left corner is the white Protoss. We have Zoey. And the bottom right is the orange Terran. It's going to be Vaclavson. And some good luck, have funs coming out of both players. Very sportsmanlike. Alright, no early workers being sent out. Hello, doggy. Okay, not a lot of developments yet, so but at least no center proxy gates. That was cool. No BBS. We are at 10 supply. This supply depot is a little bit late, so Vaclavson may be a little bit distracted. And the barracks to follow. Zoey sending out the scout. Gateway down, gonna take the gas. Very normal opening. Terran taking gas. And Zoey in the chat. My hands were pretty shaky at the start of this game. Well, yeah, you just won game 1, and now you're walking into game 2 where you could take it all. I'd be a little nervous too. Southgate core opening. Nice tech opening here, standard. Second depot and ostensibly CV pulls here into a factory. Okay, interesting that we have 2 SCVs mining gas. Usually it's either 1 or 3 at this point. That factory will go down. This probe will be chased. Dragoon in production. Looks pretty similar to game number 1. Get this probe. Get this probe. Pow! There we go. And get this SCV. Pow. Okay, second gate before Nexus. And now positioned to take the Nat. Let's see where we're at. Alright, 2 fact. With 2 SCVs mining gas. Very interesting. I wonder if this is something I don't know about, like some sort of timing. I'm not aware of anything that uses 2 SCVs on gas at this timing. It could just be a mistake. Gonna start the pylon wall, Dragoon to block. When Dragoon crosses the map to try and take a peek at what's going on. If you come up forward just a little bit more, you'll notice that there's no Terran Command Center, and at this timing that's a little bit of a red flag. Mines being researched. Tank in production. Vulture in production. I like this. I like how the tech is hidden downwards. This is going to force Terran to spread with the scans. Because if Terran scans here, you're not going to see the tech. If you scan here, you're not going to see the tech. You'd have to scan much further down. Okay, and Zoey should know that something's up. Because the goon did come down, didn't see a command center. 3 goons at home, 2 goons in production. Now if this ends up being a regular 2 factory push, with 2 gateways, especially before Nexus, as long as these are continually producing, Zoey should be fine and should be able to hold it. Some vultures got loose on the map. That's going to be annoying because mines are done. I'm going to start mining up bases to keep track of Protoss. And yeah, don't let these vultures in. So good catch on the first one. Gonna chase the second one away. Yeah, and again, similar to the last game, Vaclavson with a much later natural. So, I don't know, I guess a little bit of advice, particularly for the tier 3 players. If you're gonna go for like early production, like 2-fact, you really gotta kind of make something work out of it if your opponent is going for an early expansion themselves. Otherwise you're just going to be economically behind. So I really would have liked to have seen like a timing or a push with all of this. Because with the natural being so far behind Zoey, that's just going to give Zoey a lot of time to ramp up in probe count, and that's going to end up being a worker discrepancy with a huge lead for Protoss, which further evolves into, you know, other aspects that'll put him ahead in the game. Another gateway on the way, so this is 3 gateway observer. Just now getting goon range. This might have been a mistake. This probably should have been earlier. Here we go. Natural for Terran finally up. Vulture speed on the way. Turrets going up. Very defensive posture for Terran. Double armory once again as well for those upgrades. Nope, you're not getting up here, Mr. Vulture. That's already pylon walled off. And this will be a third that Zoey will take. Smart, leading with the observer. Check for mines. Full round of Dragoons in production. Teching into Citadel. I'll clean it up. There we go. And yeah, okay, so now we have Terran moving across the map. And, I feel like this is just a little too shallow. With Terran, it's one of those deals where if you're going to attack, you want to have a big, chunky force. There's not really a whole lot that Terran can do with small squads of units, unlike Zerg and Protoss. And this position right here is very, very risky because it's on the low ground, right on the ramp. So if these Dragoons were to move up here, they'll have a high ground advantage immediately. And yeah, Zoey gonna catch this right here. And if the goons spread out nicely, which they are, they should be able to take this entire force out. Oh, and this Vulture does manage to get in. He decides to go for probes instead of up the ramp to scout the tech. Gonna try to go for a mine trick. Zoey's not having it. More gateways going down, forge upgrading. On Terran's side, we have 4 factories now. 2 shops. Both mech upgrades well on the way, 1-1. Starport. That gas being taken. So it looks like a nice low and slow macroeconomic game from both players. Just going to try to take the map, build up. Vaclavson going for a little bit more aggression though. Really trying to make something happen with these low counts of Terran army, and it's just not, it's not going to work. It's not going to work out. For Terran, it's better to just hang back at your base and mass up and get a large force and move out. Oh, look at this. Look at this Vulture here with 6 kills, 7 kills, catching probes that are transferring in. Small play, but a good play. And here we go. Dragoons, Zealot. Dragoons come up to clean this up. Maybe. Hopefully. Hey, there we go. Vaclavson seems to be very, very good at utilizing Vultures, getting them out on the map, laying mines down. It's a strength that I'd like to point out. Although this is kind of a risky maneuver because you're losing your Vultures, which is a significant portion of your main army. You need them to support siege tanks. He does do a very good job of moving around, laying mines. Getting in here, scouting the tech. That mine connects. And being very active with Vultures can definitely swing things in your favor, but it's kind of a higher risk, higher reward play. Vaclavson going to go ahead and take his third at the 6 o'clock here. 1-1 mech is done. Oh, and this time around in this game, a much better timed science facility. So we should see these upgrades start. Yeah, +2 started much earlier this time. Upgrades being an extremely significant part of Terran gameplay. Zoey taking a 4th. here at this other main's natural. And again, with forces separated, split in two for Protoss, with full control groups, I feel like this right here is poised to get crushed. If an attack launches from both angles, and in fact that does happen, well performed pincer maneuver, Zoey. That was excellent. Vaclavson getting a little bit greedy, taking a fourth at this other main here. Factories in full production. Lots of good stuff in good place coming out of both players. Just a couple of things to work on. We have Stargate. Don't quite have Templar tech just yet, though. More gateways going down. Another base being taken here. Mining at the 6 o'clock has begun. Oh, that's unfortunate. Looks like we forgot about the nat gas, so we're actually 2 out of 3 short on this refinery. Okay, dropship. Dropship in this matchup. Dropship in any matchup. Well, other than Terran versus Terran. Again, is kind of a higher risk, higher reward type play. That's 100 gas, that could have been another siege tank. You kind of have to make something happen with this. And if you don't, that's a deficit on your part. So I'd like to see this go across the map, see if it might catch Zoey off guard. Pick off some probes. Now would be a pretty good time to try and even out the worker counts. We're at 63 to 47, so if Zoey holds this position in this lead, it should develop into a very healthy and strong late game for Protoss. Oh, that's pretty cool. Walling off here at this other mains ramp. Unfortunately, there's nothing behind it, so this wall doesn't really accomplish too much, but I like the idea a lot. Terran forces moving out once again. And yeah, this observer's going to spot everything, so Zoey should know. Yep, follows with the observer. Definitely knows. Protoss forces moving into position to intercept. And here we go. A full, beautiful, sided engagement from Zoey here. Lots of zealots with speed coming in, crushing these tanks immediately. That's probably the biggest compliment that I have to give to Zoey right now, is just the engagements. These engagements are chef's kiss. You spot the Terran army, you see their move out, you position well to intercept it, and you just go for the throat. Really well played. And I feel like this game is starting to close out now by just looking at the supplies. 183, 181 for Protoss, 101 for Terran. Here's our Arbiter Tribunal. This is kind of the nail in the coffin tech right here. Once Arbiters start getting out, coupled with either stasis or recall, it should be just too much for Terran to handle. However, that being said, this game actually is not over. Vaclavson has successfully taken both of these bases and is mining from all of his bases. This is going to become very mineral and gas rich very quickly. Created a few additional factories, I agree with that. Some more would be nice. There we go. 7th fact on the way. Just keep pumping. These upgrades are looking really good too. 2-1. 3-2 is on the way. EMP is on the way. Yeah, Vaclavson actually starting to shape up very nicely here, albeit just behind. And now the ball is really in Zoey's court, as we have 200-200 maxed out Protoss, 1-1 upgrades. Beautiful wall here at this other mains natural. Gateway explosion here. This will also help seal the deal. And Vaclavson positioned to take this mineral only. Some scans going down. Right at the center. And will Vaclavson move to engage? Yeah, it looks so. Oh, unfortunately loses one of those tanks though. Every tank is so important and so valuable at this point, and Zoey's just like, nah, I'm just going to move in with my entire 200-200 army. So here comes the full might of the Protoss, bearing down on Terran. And Terran just does not have the supply, just doesn't have the muscle to contend with this. And this is also particularly good timing on Protoss's part because the 3-2 mech upgrades are close to finished, but are not yet finished. This isn't necessarily something you can plan for at this level, but the coincidental timing is very nice. And now Zoey's just going to go ahead and slow siege the remaining outlying Terran bases, which will strongly tip the scales in Zoey's favor, which they already are. But right now it's just about closure. Terran going to come up and try to desperately fight off, but with a small squad, again, these small squadron moves just aren't very effective. Terran needs mass, they need high numbers to be effective. Their effectiveness, I think, grows exponentially instead of additively, the more units you push in and put into a ball. And yeah, now I think Terran's forces are just kind of spread too thin. So this 4th base is going to get sieged, 3rd base is dead, 5th base, or new 3rd base I guess, already under siege. And now Zoey's going for the throat by pushing into the choke point of the natural. If broken here, this game's over. A fresh round of reinforcements pops out for Terran. Some really good defensive matrices coming out. Well, I can't say that. Defensive matrices. Good mine laying. Unfortunately, none of the mines connect. That's the tricky part about using mines as Terran, is you kind of have to set them up beforehand. You can't really set them up in the middle of a fight. It usually just doesn't work out. Dragoons will shoot them down beforehand. Zealots on top of them might target them. And this should be the closure of game number 2 and the series. GG is called by Vaclavson. Zoey takes it 2-0. That's going to wrap this up, folks. It's been a pretty good cast, a couple hours, some nice T3 action. Now, tomorrow, same time, like I said earlier in the cast, I'm going to be doing another cast, and this time it'll be Tier 1. Same teams, too. It'll be Gloriously Overpowered Sexy Unicorns and Let Us Attack. And instead we'll get to see the Tier 1s punching in. So, look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow if you show up. And that's going to be all from me. Hope you had fun, because I sure did. Good night, everybody.